Therapists of Reddit, what was your biggest I know I'm not supposed to judge you, but holy SHT moment? Here's my most recent one. As the pandemic worsened here in the US and more lockdowns are on their way, one of my most extroverted clients and I brainstormed ways to meet her social needs while remaining safe. The following week she cancelled her session and told me that she's positive for COVID after attending an orgy, which definitely wasn't one of our ideas. I let out the deepest, most defeated sigh after I hung up the phone. I'm super extroverted and the struggle in 2020 is real. I just spend a lot of time on Discord chatting to people. Amazingly, I haven't caught COVID. Clinical psychologist working primarily in forensics here. This means my clients are usually involved in legal proceedings, family court, juvenile court, criminal court, etc. My job is usually to evaluate or provide treatment. I'm not there to judge, that's the judge's job, but of course I have my thoughts. I'm usually impressed by the justifications people make for shitty behavior. The one that irks me the most is when parents manipulate their child against the other parent. I've had to do therapy for a 5-year who said she doesn't want to see a parent because they haven't paid child support. Excuse me? What 5-year knows, understand, or needs to be worried about child support? I got my father accusing my mother of turning me and my siblings against him. We were 14-yo, 9-yo and 7-yo at the time and never acknowledged that he was the one doing all kind of shitty things to us. We had 8 years of pure pain with social assistance. We got ducked by familiarist CPS who only thought about the good for the family. I'm kinda sensible to this argument as it has been using against me, my siblings and my mother. I was once in my psychiatrist's office a bi-monthly, 15 minutes med check. She asked me what was going on more as conversation. I told her that in the last 6 weeks, my 3 elders aunt and 2 uncles I was guardian/conservator for had died one right after the other. My wife had a heart attack. My daughter attempted suicide. And my mom broke her hip and had laid on her floor for a week. Before being found she drank and ate from the dog's bowls. I got that call within 10 minutes of setting up the last funeral. She stopped the meeting, got on the phone with a therapist in the office next to her, and had her postpone her next meeting to speak with me. I was so ducked up, I had no idea. I think she saved my life. I really hope you're doing better, man. Can I answer from the other side? I had something close to a mental breakdown after a painful breakup. Started seeing a therapist. It was going more or less well. At one point I had a sort of revelation about all my bullshit and about my own responsibility in the whole mess. So next session I'm actually thrilled to share this with the therapist about how I finally see a bunch of my own problems in the way I interact with women and which caused a relationship that wasn't really healthy from the get-go. I'm halfway through trying to explain this and the therapist goes, "Oh, you know, women are weird." So that was that. I never went back. Duck that guy. So that was that. I never went back. Duck that guy. Cheers to that. Patient side here. I had been seeing a therapist for a few months to help with chronic depression and self-harm with some pretty intense suicidal ideation. I had tried Suprex in the past, didn't like the side effects, and put it down, but I was ready to try something new to supplement therapy. Everyone within earshot was calling Wellbutrin a miracle and lifesaver, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Since my therapist couldn't prescribe drugs, I got an appointment with a psychiatrist. My first appointment, I explained what I've got going on, what I'm doing to work on it, and what I'm looking for in seeing him. I do a pretty good job holding myself together in public. I dress myself. I hold down jobs. At that point I lived on my own, now living with my partner. All in all, I've got a well-polished mask. I guess it's too good, because pretty early in our session he looked at me and said, "I don't think you're depressed, bro. This is the first time we met. I've been here for 20 minutes, and you're ready to reverse my diagnosis? Cool, bro." And you know what? I 100% guarantee, if you had rolled up 15 minutes late, dressed in your pajamas, unshaven and with an attitude, like you're gonna fall asleep any minute, then that dickhead would just say, "Well, no wonder you're depressed, if you act like that." Not a therapist but in healthcare. 2 things. Oh, this post is stupid. No therapist is going to divulge their patient's secrets. That's not how it works. Even suggesting this may make people have second thoughts of getting needed therapy. No matter how messed up you think your life is, most therapists I guarantee have seen worse and won't even bat an eye at your trouble and will devote much of their heart and time into treating you and your mental health. I've worked with many therapists, psychiatrists, and psych-APRNs. They are 100% all great people who have a special kind of personality and heart towards their patients. I agree. I'm just here for the creative fiction Reddit is known for. I work in healthcare, and I've never heard a therapist, psychologist, or psychiatrist judge patients openly. Other nurses and doctors, on the other hand, holy shit. At some of the clinics I've been in, the conversations in the break room and at the nurses station blew my mind. That's why I don't work in a hospital anymore. I was a PCA and the judgment from everyone was insane. Nurses would wait until the last possible minute to give a patient their pain meds because they were exaggerating, and yet I would be in their room 3 times an hour and they would be writhing in pain. People openly talked about patients badly. It was horrible. I've heard the theory that the process needed to become a medical professional extremely grueling studies, expectation to always be available at the cost of own needs, etc. often produces people who are trained to ignore and invalidate their pain, and by extension the pain of others. Totally agree. However, I would say it's the culture rather than the demands. The demands are created by the culture, which I would say is a product of the reductionist / clinical thinking, rather than holistic / social / humanistic thinking. Mental health nurses are worlds away from medical nurses in their approach to a lot of things. But also, most nurses come into the role with caring ways. The pressures of the job and lack of basic care for their needs, unfair impossible expectations, and dealing with people who are often at their worst all day mean that people get burnt out and crabby. It's sad. Better support would improve a lot. Once had a patient whose wife shook their baby to death. He wanted help reconnecting with his wife. At the time I was a young father of a newborn myself, and he triggered a lot of fear in me for my own child, a deep loathing of his spouse, and pity the how pathetic kind for the patient. I tried for 3 sessions, met his spouse and everything, before handing the case over to my supervisor, who knew about my initial reactions, and tried to help me through it. Unfortunately, it ended up being more about my feelings than his, and I was new to the profession at the time. These things are expected to crop up from time to time, but I was still taken aback by my own reactions. You made the right call. Being taken aback by your own reactions, deciding to hand off the case, and then assume working through your reactions in supervision, or by yourself sounds like a really valuable learning and growth experience. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel for more curated daily Reddit stories.